Recording's in progress. You know what? If we were on a boat, we'd be in very much trouble today because we'd be leering this way. Look at how everybody's on this side of the room. I don't know why. Which reminds me of something cool coming up. October 25th, 26th. It's a Saturday, Sunday. I am taking whoever wants to go on a fall foliage boat ride from my condo up at Camdenton. We're gonna go for a little lunch drive and then stop at a restaurant because that's the non-HOA lake where you can actually have restaurants on the water. And then back. So there might be some opening spots. We'll let you know about that, but that's gonna be something coming up late fall, assuming the lake is still high enough. But in the meantime, where's my mousey? You need to meet somebody. Look at all the people in here. Find somebody you don't know. You got 30 seconds. Go. All right.
Nice to meet you.
That's good.
Courage. And you are?
Erica, how are you doing?
Doing well.
Good.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, you know, there we go.
Yeah.
I did this that last time.
Simmer.
Forget us back.
All right, so if you're not wearing red today, it is Red Tuesday. Rachel and I are here.
Yeah, we
Carrie's
didn't
got
even
it.
plan this. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
It's like we're kid oven, there's a lot of red in our closets. So every week we talk about our MVP, VRP, and those of you that are online that wait for it, we're gonna start putting one of these up on the pre-slide so you can get a reminder of it while we're waiting to get into the room. What is our vision?
To be the real estate company of choice for agents and their customers. However, we prefer the term clients.
Clients.
So, a little bit different.
Customer is somebody you work at Walmart. Client is someone you have a connection with and you're serving.
At my last job, they were called guests.
Guest. Yes, that's a Disney
But it's at a
thing, too.
baseball stadium, so everyone came, it was our guests, so a little different.
That's true. All right, we have a lot
We would love for y'all to stay. you know,
Yes.
no.
We have so many vendors and affiliates. Thank you for being part of us. Let's go around the room and see who we got here real quick.
Yeah, let's start. Adam, let's start with you.
Adam McGrath with Carry On Insurance Agency, and we always appreciate helping your home buyers with their insurance.
All right, Adam.
Derek.
All right, Derek Cheney, home loan expert with Missouri Bank, located right across the parking lot. Here to help you with all your home loan needs.
And Derek is re-upping for the vendor program next year. He just came in. So if you haven't talked to Nicole, we're starting that for next year as well. Carl.
Good morning, Carl with Darkstone Home Inspection. For all your home inspection needs, home inspection, radon, termite, mold, sewer, septic, pretty much everything that you would need. Here at your service. Thank you.
Thank you, Jess.
Hello, everyone. Jess Bowman, Bowman Insurance Group. Any and all insurance needs, we are here just to be a part of your team and help you guys, and we appreciate you.
Perfect. Garrett.
Garrett Dollins, Meridian Title. I mentioned it last week, kind of teasing kind of some stuff that we have coming out, but November 1st, be on the lookout for that. We got some really exciting stuff that's gonna change the industry.
Yeah, secrets don't make friends. Bryant.
Well, I'm gonna tell you guys about Garrett's secret. My name's Bryant Young with Insurance the Ozarks, your friendly local insurance agent. Derek loves that. I was teaching my kid the alphabet the other day, and we were struggling because I only know 25 letters in the alphabet. I don't know why.
Oh, there we go. Sarah.
Sarah Cook with Missouri Bank, residential lender.
Perfect. George.
Okay, sorry.
George Brockman with the Chosen Warranty, where we give your clients the power to choose. And I know Garrett's secret. I take Venmo, cash, PayPal, willing to share. As this market continues to change, if you don't know about our free seller's coverage from listing to close, that protects your clients, then we definitely need to talk because as homes sit on the market longer, there's some benefits there for your sellers. So-
Hey, George, who's with you?
Oh, this is, so this is Owen. He is the first ever chosen sales intern, so.
Awesome. Welcome.
He will actually be helping us down in Arkansas, but he's home on fall break. And so, Yeah, so he's gonna get broke in today.
Welcome, welcome. Cole.
Good morning, Cole Keeling, USA Mortgage. Last week, I touched on a new product we had, FHA 100% financing, no income limits, no area restrictions. We just got somebody under contract using that program. So if you guys want to learn more about that, I'd love to chat with you.
So Kevin.
Kevin Kohler, Allstate Insurance, I provide home and property casualty insurance needs. Just in the last week, had a couple closings, and I'm sure they never happen to you, where your closing date changes at the last minute. But do have a benefit where we can do instant bind, so within 10 minutes, I can refresh, get a new closing date on those. So just one of the benefits of what we can do.
Awesome, thank you. Christina.
First of all, Rachel, I love seeing you hold your belly. It's making me happier than anything in the world.
You're just here.
You're so cute. So, Christina,
We're right here.
She's cuter.
Christina Ferrante with 417 Home Loans at Flat Branch. Girls, can you hold up my magnets? I wanted to remind everybody that Flat Branch has a printing company called Printzilla. It is free for you to use. We do not make money. You get it at cost, and my marketing team will design for you. Those magnets are 60 cents. So very cost effective. If you need help, I'm here to be your partner.
Thank you so much.
Cindy.
Cindy with Great American Title. So I'm writing this fraud class, this class about how to protect against fraud. And oh my God, every day, all title companies from their underwriters are getting these notifications about fraud happening in the state of Missouri and elsewhere. And just be grateful for a company like Great American who is forcing you to cross the T's and dot the I's so that you have insurance in place and all the protections that we've got within each closing to keep the money safe and to keep your licenses safe, to keep your clients' money in their pocket and going where they want it to. So thank you. Great
Thank
American Title.
you. Thank you to all of our vendor partners. Yeah.
It is cool how many vendors and affiliates we have that join here. In fact, they wanted to make their own award each week, and this has been going on for several months now. So who was last week's winner?
Yeah.
And who's the winner this week?
This week, see, it's cute when Rachel holds her belly, but when an old fat guy does it, it's kind of cute.
Don't worry, here in about 5 months, it won't be cute anymore.
George Rockman this week.
Yay.
As far as home warranties goes, I'm not a home warranty expert by any means, but I've had a few in the past. They were all crap, but George's bought it. It was really good.
Thank you.
Sounds like a lunch and learn in your future, George.
Yes. All right, and our culture winner for the Steffes Award. Last week was Candace Bowers, and here's what she said for this week.
Yes, so the person that she is choosing is always cheering everyone on to be their best. This person makes everyone feel their success and achievements are important to this person as well. From pre-licensing to coaching and everything in between, she is there every step rooting for us for our best. Every day she lives the K2B culture. Congratulations, Shanna Blumel.
Put her name on the slide because she has access to them, so it still
Yeah, I
says
think
TBD.
Shanna also wins the awards for the most amount of times received.
I think I may.
At some point, she'll be retired to the Hall of Fame.
There we go. I'm retired. I've got a whole army.
Okay, Megan, it's onward time. What do you have for us?
Hi, I'm Megan with Onward Agent Services. We currently offer transaction coordinating, marketing, and sign and lockbox running. So if you ever have any questions or an interest in using Onward Agent Services, just come see myself or Haley up in the leadership office.
And Katya has some marketing promos going. So if you have any questions around a listing packet, open house packet, mini media, or a branding bundle, go see her for this discounted price.
Okay, everybody grab your phone. Got it? Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, every time you grab your phone, don't call somebody you're not supposed to. Okay.
I thought you were gonna say text Shanna,
Put
and
your
I was
phone
like,
away.
this is awkward.
Jim, what do you have for us from the broker side?
Good.
All is good, yay.
Anything from the broker meeting? I know we had a broker meeting last week.
No, I mean, they went into depth, long conversation between two area brokers who are challenging, discussing clear cooperation and if it was going to continue to exist. Clear cooperation means we share compensation with each other.
Now that we have the rider, meaning if the clear cooperation was going to
I just
exist.
don't know what they were doing.
Okay. Got it.
They're interesting folks.
Okay.
One of them's having a 30-year anniversary this week, so that's one of them. The other one's just always the same. Mike knows.
As
It was
we-
interesting, but I mean, other than that, there wasn't anything big come out of the meeting. It really wasn't. It was just kind of like, let's summarize everything that's wonderful for everybody that we're doing that they don't know about. And let's move forward with this.
One thing to note, since everybody has completed their CE, if you did not do the code of ethics for your CE, you have to do that by December 31st. So that was a lot of our communication when you were doing your CE, to do the fair housing and the code of ethics at the
What?
same time.
We communicated about it?
Yep, so,
Wow.
but if you haven't done that, that would be something to put on your radar to have completed by December 31st.
Yep.
Never heard of it.
Okay, stats for the week. Again, the arrows have helped get you a quick glance of which way it's going. It's just all over right now. Every week it's a little bit different, so there's no trends except it's just kind of normal compared to the week before and kind of like the year before. We are obviously a little higher on listings last time, but it's still about the same. This was the big number I saw the drop. This has been running about 20 to 22 each week. There were only 10 homes this week that sold in 1 day or less. So even if you're pricing it right, buyers can now take a little more time. But so have the right conversations ahead of time with your buyers and your sellers. Average listing time now is 45, 60 days, something like that.
For average days on market?
Yeah.
44.
44. So it's not gonna sell in a couple days. Every once in a while it will, but just keep that in mind.
That's where those expectation conversations come
Yeah.
really important.
Okay, one of the greatest things I learned from my coach was the phrase, here's what happens next. Every time you talk to a client, before you end the conversation, say, and here's what happens next. Let them know what's going. If they have to ask you a question, you haven't done your job right somewhere. So always let them know what's coming and then follow through with it. So we've got the listing, here's what happens next. We're gonna put it in the systems, whatever your system is, but always do the communication and have the conversations ahead of time.
And I think what's important to know is that you can't assume that your buyers or sellers know the process. Even if this is maybe their second or third time purchasing or selling, everything is different, depending on if this is the third time, maybe they sold it 7 years ago or the time before that. So really educating them on this market is going to be very important to manage those expectations.
I had a client who sold 10, 15 houses through their lifetime. So I listed, I was just like, okay, they know exactly what's going. Most of us were from out of state and they were very upset because I hadn't explained everything well and it was my cousins. So no matter who it is, give them all the same value of service.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay, active listings on GSBR as of yesterday, 2106. We went up 3 from the week before. Again, we're still staying around the 2100 mark. 2019, we were at 2223. So we're just sort of mirroring, not exactly, but we're, there's a lot of houses to choose from compared to the before times, like the last 2 or 3 years. Okay, it's middle of the month, so profit share is out. If you have the KW app command on your phone, it is now showing you your profit share amount about the 13th to 15th of the month. So we were able to share back with our agents $21,652 this month for a grand total for the year of $295,717 back to our local agents.
Wow.
That is tracking 40,000 above last year. So even though it's a little bit lower compared to last September, we are still on track. And the market center has been so responsible, we've already got our rent paid for the rest of the year. So we're gonna be in a good spot for the rest of the way. Mark?
What do you attribute the 40,000 plus to over last year? Is it the number of agents? What is it?
There's a whole lot of things.
There's a wide variety of that. So within the last year, our coaching program has developed stronger than it was the year before. I mean, we have 65 people actively in the coaching program. So we have our agents that maybe they have increased their production on that side. When we rolled out the team cap model, that also changed the economic model of that. And then we're also seeing a difference in the market too. So a lot of our agents were still training on how to go out and sell the houses. And so it just really comes down to the education component of it too. And we've been fortunate that we've been able to really just manage out, and we used 2019 as our forecast. So when we're looking at the budget for this year and what we were looking at 2019. So we really knew where we needed to remove our expenses and really dial that back in so we could be more prepared for that market.
I will say a lot of this is because Landon and Rachel look at the dollars and say, hey, we're responsible for making sure that we get as much of this to our agents as possible. And so they look through everything they can on the finances each month to make sure we're doing everything we can to be profitable, both for the owners and for you as the agents. So let's give them a round of applause.
What percentage of agents here at KW are actually participating in
33%.
30%? Okay.
Oh, if only there was a way to get more people into your profit share downline. Maybe that's a conversation sometime. Okay, Nicole from the internet world, what do you have for us?
Hello. Well, speaking of your KW Command app, if you just try to open it to check your profit share from last month, then you did see that there has been an update. So new update for your KW Command app. This now has the Smart Plans contact filter that's inside of it. So more things for you to do on the go. So the app just keeps getting better and better.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm signing in mine real quick. I love this. It shows you your tasks due for today, due soon, past due, new leads to claim, people to cultivate, and the profit share down on the bottom, and people's birthdays that are coming up. If you need to stay in touch with your people, just go here to your birthdays and their home anniversaries. It'll tell you. And you click the birthdays, it gives me the list. I can touch a button and call them or text them right now. I can say, here's the great thing, ask a question. Hey, happy birthday, what are you doing to celebrate? Then they will answer you. Home anniversary. Hey, happy home anniversary. What's your biggest change you like that you've done in your home this year? Hey, happy 4th of July. What do you have on the grill? You'd be amazed how many answers you get back to stay in conversation with people.
Great one would be Halloween and what they're dressing up as.
Yeah.
That way you could also get ideas for yourself.
That's right. Okay, Real Estate Revolution is back.
Yes, so Friday is Real Estate Revolution. I'm so excited. Right now, we have about 100 people that have RSVP'd. So I'm sending out a pre-event survey. So a little bit different this time than last time is I have a pre-event survey for everybody to fill out to tell us what you want to learn by attending. The feedback that we got from the last event was remarkable. We actually had an agent in the Buffalo area that responded back and said because of Real Estate Revolution, he felt more comfortable in having his buyer consultations, which resulted in him being able to get buyer's agency agreements. And so that's what the whole point of this event is about, to help each other. So we've changed the panels up. So we have leveraging social media and AI in real estate. Even if AI is not your thing, social media should be in some form or fashion. And I don't know about you all, but the Facebook algorithm is completely changed over the last 3 weeks. It keeps removing my advertisements for Real Estate Revolution when I posted about it. So make sure you come there. Kelsey's actually taking a webinar today over some things that they're doing in a mastermind. So that'll be beneficial. Another panel is building tomorrow, navigating trends and challenges in new home construction. So we'll have Cronkite Homes, Bustle, and Trendsetter all represented. Then the last one is the art of client conversations, guiding buyers and sellers through today's market. So if you know of anybody that you would like to bring, come and sign up. If you haven't signed up, we'd love to have you there. We're gonna have coffee and it'll be 9 to 12. So it'll be pretty packed and a lot of information.
It is at 425 Walnut downtown. It's not at the strip club this time. I mean, no parking.
425 downtown on Walnut.
They keep changing the name of that thing.
I don't think they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a couple of you in the room have already registered. Yeah, so feel free to RSVP. Love to have you.
Is there parking now?
There is. There's a whole parking map. So today I'm sending out the pre-event survey to everybody that is registered. So make sure you get registered so you can fill out that survey. And then tomorrow I'm sending out a know before you go that includes the parking map. And I would still encourage, if you can carpool, the better.
Yep.
But luckily, since we're starting a little bit earlier, we'll beat kind of the Springfield Brew Co. lunch crowd as well. So we should be able to get a lot more parking.
Or you can just go to lunch with your group afterwards. Whoever you carpool with. Okay, Ignite. Shannon, you want to give us some info on Ignite?
I'd love to, actually. So raise your hands if you've been to Ignite. All right, was it beneficial?
Yes.
Okay, right. So Ignite goes for 20 sessions. We hammered out the first 2 yesterday with the wonderful Denise Knight, who y'all missed out. She's phenomenal. Today we have Carrie Tennis, who is in the room. There she is.
It's a cool day of training for Carrie today.
It really is, right? Ignite is really what's going to spark your career. Ignite is what's going to set it on fire. Yeah, no. So it's everything you need to know and everything you didn't know you needed to know. And it's given to you in digestible chunks to where you can understand it. Is it just for new agents?
Nope.
No, the basics never get old, right? Always go back to the basics. This is a market where you can go back to those basics and get back into it. It is not too late to sign up. Just show up today. It is every day except for Friday from noon to 3. And I promise you, you will get something of value out of every single day that you come. Zoom if you need to. We'll send out the recordings, but just get butts in seats, friends. It's really worth it, I promise.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, and our big other thing that's going on in Halloween season.
Yeah, so we have our chili cook-off and costume contest coming back up. We changed it this year, so it is going to be a lunchtime. So hopefully that works for everybody's schedule. But bring your best chili, regardless of whatever that is, or Paulina brings her pickle soup, which I'm a big proponent of. So it could be whatever you'd like. So have lunch, dress up, we'll have prizes, and it'll be here at the Market Center.
Very cool. Here's the rest of the stuff going on for October. So you can see a few more things on here. You see all the Ignite dates on there. You see wealth building, you see real estate revolution. Anything else we're missing?
Agent headshots are gonna be on Thursday. So if you would like a refresh on your headshot, let us know and we'll add you to the list.
Yes. And future pacing, November is the Greater Heartland Summit. Again, this is a great thing. It'll be in Branson. It's like mega camp on a regional level. If you know someone from another company you think will benefit from this, and you can have them talk with me, we'll bring them and we'll get you a ticket also. It is that important, especially the Jordan Freed thing from 11 to 12 is worth the whole price of admission right there. So you wanna make sure and get to that. And today we have a special guest. We have several things going today. But we're gonna bring up Terrence Arrington, and Erica, as she's been meeting people everywhere, really got to dig in deep and learn more of his story and thought it was great to share it. So please welcome Erica and Terrence.
I am so excited. We too. When I was making my decision, I went to lunch with Terrence and he shared for me like his why he got into this amazing business. And I'm not kidding, we're sitting in Chipotle and I just started bawling. And it became a very personal decision for me. And I came back and shared with Rachel and Mike, it was just like his why really impacted me. And so we felt like it would be really powerful if you could just maybe share that with some of ours.
Sure, that'll help, yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, Terrence Arrington, with Alpha Realty. Been a realtor for a little over 5 years now. I'm a Evangel grad, so I've been in town since 2006. Born and raised up in New York area, so I was about 16, 17 years old. Moved to Orlando, Florida, finished high school, and then came here in 2006, somehow landed in Springfield, don't know how or why, but here I am. My accent's gone, but when I go home, it comes back strong. And my wife is like, who are you? Like, why are you talking like that? But that's home for me. We are married, I'm married obviously to my wife Molly. We have 2 kids and 1 on the way. We are currently buying a bigger home because of that as well.
Do you need an agent?
Right. And yeah, so yeah, 5 years in it. Work experience would be waiter at Applebee's for over a decade. Banking for over a decade or almost a decade, and then real estate. Those are my recent ones. So banking was what I did right before real estate. And just a little sneak peek of my story. So we had our first child in 2017. My wife was in marketing. She worked for Hirsch and Family out in Branson. And she was like, look, I'm not going to Branson and leaving my kid with a daycare and paying for that. You know, like she's like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, I don't blame you. So we went down from 2 incomes to 1 income, and things were tight. Things were hard, you know. And so I was in banking at the time. I was a branch manager at a local bank, and we were getting by, but it was just tight. So to make extra income, I was Lyft driving, I was Uber driving, I was mowing lawns in my neighborhood. Whatever I can do to make an extra buck, you know, I do it. But it still wasn't enough. You know, I had family members giving us money, and it was just tight. And so I felt that was the birth of it's time to play bigger, right? Like this safety net, let me just do what I can to get by, or let me do what feels safe, was just not working anymore. And so that was the start of this thought, okay, what can I do? What sounds interesting? What sounds enticing? I even applied for, you know, I applied for other jobs locally at other banks, at other companies that I was well overqualified for, but they just wouldn't give me an opportunity. So it was like all these doors were closing, and I'm looking for, you know, opportunities to take care of my family. And this calling to play bigger kept coming up in my ear. And so real estate was always what I wanted to do. It was a passion of mine. I knew some people in the business that I watched, and I was like, man, that sounds fun. I could do that, you know, serving people, helping them with their biggest investment. And I could do that, but I don't feel qualified. You know, I don't feel like I'm the person for real estate. I don't feel like I'm the, you know, blazer, slacks type of guy, tie every day. I just didn't feel like I fit that mold. but yet there was this tug to just go out and do. And almost I felt like God was just closing doors left and right to almost kind of steer me in that direction, to where I had to try it, I had to play big. And so long story short, I decided to get my license back, well, I decided to go to school for real estate back in 2019, early 2019. And I was working my full-time job, still doing my part-time gigs. And then I went to real estate school for evening classes. That was interesting time. It was a hard time. I got through it. I got my license, I passed my test, and then that's where everything shifted from there. That was when opportunity came from there. So
And that takes us right into 2020.
2020.
Dun, 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 dun.
The crazy
So
year.
that was a hard time for many of us in the room. I'm sure everybody can remember where you were when the world shut down. So Terrence, I know it was hard. What was going on in your life at that time, and how did it lead you into where you are today?
Yeah, so I got my license in 19. And so I was a part-time agent. I was still working at the bank and working part-time real estate, which was crazy. So I was up early. I was up at like 4:30 a.m. almost every morning doing real estate. I'll leave by 7:45 to get my job, work my job, lunchtime, I'm eating lunch, doing real estate. After lunch, back to work, and then leaving my job and then doing real estate. And so I was never home for a good 6-7 months. I just wasn't home. I was doing what I had to do, but I was used to that by that point. I was doing side gigs anyway, so it was not different for me. So, but yeah, COVID hit, you know, the whole world kind of shut down at that point, and there were lots of uncertainty, lots of questions, lots of what if, lots of change. And so, yeah, at that point I had to make a decision on what I was going to do amongst uncertainty. And I feel like that's the common thing that we will always experience in this life. Change is constant, right? It'll always happen. But what are you going to do? What are you going to believe in? What are you going to decide to do? Are you going to stay in limbo of, well, this could happen and this could happen or that could happen, fear, 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 fear? Or are you going to make a choice and do something and make a change? And for me, that was doing real estate. That was learning a skill, which I already, you know, I was doing it part-time anyway. Making a decision to do the work and then doing the work. It's that simple. It really is. I didn't think it was that simple because of all the noise. And there's noise now too, right? Amongst all the things that are going on right now. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into it, but there's just a lot of noise right now too. And so I think there's always an opportunity to make a decision on what you're going to do, who you're going to be, and then doing it, and then moving forward. And so, yeah, at that time, I chose to leave my safe job of almost 10 years at the bank to jump into real estate during the lockdowns, as you should say. And everyone was like, dude, you're crazy, like lockdowns are happening. You know, real estate might not even be, what did they call it back then? Might not be, what was the word that they kept using during COVID? If your job was.
Essential?
Yes, you know, real estate might not be essential, you know, all these things. And I'm like, I just feel led to jump. I just feel like I need to jump. And over time, I've learned that there's a lot of opportunity during uncertainty. I've learned that there's a lot of great, big opportunity during times of fear. So anyway, I left my job, I jumped in full time, and it was a little scary. It was, you know, one income, family depending on me, had to make money, you know, wife's at home, kids are at home, bills to pay. But I jumped, and it was the best decision I've ever made probably in my entire life. Within a month, I had 8 homes under contract. And I was just going, deals were coming in. I had more time to invest in real estate too. So that was helpful. And everything shifted, I had time to be home with my family more. I had time to take care of my body more and sleep and rest and exercise. There's so many benefits that came with that choice to just jump and do it. So.
Wow, that's
yeah.
amazing. So when it comes to all these changing times that we have in our industry, what is that mindset every morning, even today, right? 2024 Q4 that you take to be successful, to tackle that day and to like go after it? How do you conquer fear every day?
Man, it's a big question. You know, it is choice, but yeah, I think it starts with thankfulness, being thankful for where you are, for what you currently have, for what you've achieved, and recognizing kind of how far you've come. That's where it starts for me, just being thankful. I have breath in my body. I have a family, I have a wife, I have kids, I have a house have food to eat, clothes on my back, these things that my mom taught me growing up, I'm just thankful. And I've seen and I've experienced hard times. I know what it is to not know if you're gonna eat. And so I have a lot to be thankful for. I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna do it. But that's where it starts. And then from there, it's just having a vision. Again, back to that choice, like what am I going to do? Where am I gonna go and who am I gonna be? And then having the task and the goals in line, those small goals, those small tasks to achieve the bigger goal. And so that's where it starts for me every morning. These are things I've had to learn, coming out of the nine to five realm where someone's telling you what to do and giving you a schedule. I had to learn to kind of make my own and be disciplined. That word is important. Be disciplined with my day and with my time in all things. Thank God for a Google Calendar, because if I didn't have that, I wouldn't make it. But yeah, being disciplined with time of work, being disciplined with time with my family, being disciplined with times of rest, being disciplined to just do the work when I needed to do the work. So that's where it starts.
Any final thoughts on you remembering your why every day when you get up and do this job?
Yeah. Final thoughts. Again, just uncertainty will always be and change will always be, and there's always going to be an opportunity for fear. And I think the more that we stick to what is true and we make the choices to just do the work, the easier times like this will be and the easier you'll be able to navigate through it. Fear has no value. It has no value at all. And we give it so much power. It has no value. It has no power. And so the more that we just focus on what we can control, and have faith in the things that we cannot control, the easier these times will be. I know most of us are probably experiencing some uncertainty right now and just questioned and wondering what the next thing will look like or how are we going to get there. And I think it's pretty simple. I think you just need to have the faith. I think you need to know what you want to achieve, learn the skill, and just do the work. It's always about just doing the work. And there's risk in all of it, right? There's risk in playing small, there's risk in staying the same, and there's risk in playing big. There's always going to be a risk, but why not play big and have that risk and at least know that you tried, right? And at least know that you attempted to play big versus just being safe and wasting your life.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So does anybody have any questions for Terrence?
Not necessarily. I like the last statement, be safe and waste your life.
Yes, ma'am.
Terrence, how do you grow discipline unless you're just naturally disciplined person? I live with a whole group of squirrels, family. So tell me how you grow in midst of all of that, amidst all the fear, all the change, everything going on. How do you grow? How do you maintain it? How do you keep it? Because it sounds like it is precious to you.
It is, yeah, and I'm still learning it. Let me say that, I'm still learning it too. I think it's a constant learning. Because I'm not naturally disciplined. I had a mom that was on my butt every day when I was a kid, which I'm so thankful for, but she kind of instilled some of that in me, just doing it the right way first, like not waiting, not procrastinating and doing it over and over again, but doing it your best first. So to answer your question, as of now, I think I'm not afraid of doing the hard thing because I've learned that the hard thing is usually the best thing. So for example, exercise, I'm growing in this, but I've learned and I'm learning that when I work my body, when I exercise, my mind gets clearer. I feel better, I get better sleep, right? So therefore everything else is impacted because of that. If I choose to be a couch slouch, whatever. If I just rest all day and play games all day or whatever, just be lazy, I'm not going to feel the same as I would if I were to work my body. Same with sleep. If I go to bed at a good time, I wake up feeling better and having more clarity in my mind. And so I've just learned to do the hard things quicker and sooner, and not giving power to the easy route. And that's what's helping me to just be more disciplined and to really become, have more habits that are disciplined and doing those small things that become a lifestyle over time.
You're really focused on the result, sounds like.
I am.
You know the feeling, the feeling more than the result, the feeling of that. I'm gonna let myself down, I'm gonna let everyone else down if I don't get up and do some push-ups or whatever you're doing.
Absolutely. And I have people watching me now. Like, it's not just about Terrence. I have a son, who's 7 years old and he needs his daddy. He's looking at me all the time, you know, whether I know it or not, he's watching me. And so not just him, but my wife's not watching me and my daughter's watching me. I have people in the local area that have expressed that they're watching me. And it's big, it's a little scary because I'm like, it's not just one person, like I'm not anything crazy, but people are watching me. People are watching all of us. Like we all carry a brand. We carry a legacy, a purpose. We carry stuff that people are encouraged by and they're watching us, right? And so why not give them our best? And so, yeah, that's part of my why. And that's part of why I choose discipline as much as I can, at least. So.
Rachel? I don't really have a question, but I just want to say thank you for sharing your story. I think it takes a lot to be able to open up and share maybe some of the struggles or the challenges and what you've overcome. And I think it's a great reminder for all of us is that we all have our own story. And we can either choose to let it to cripple us or we can choose to let it elevate us in whatever season or whatever role that we're in. So just thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing that with us.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate it.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Let's give Terrence a round of applause. So what's interesting, we've started our new series today called Shift with all the different shift tactics. And the first one is like Terrence and Blake lined this up together. Because what you're gonna hear in this is a lot of what Terrence was just talking about. And Blake, you need the monitor up here, don't you? Okay, so shift tactic, shift tactic one, get real, get right, mindset and action. Please welcome ALC member Blake Cook. Yep, and here's your preview screen right there. So you can see what's coming up.
Sweet. I'm gonna start a timer because I have no more than 20 minutes. And so any of you guys that have met me or been to a class that I'm teaching, Satorian, know that I do not do things quickly. Someone set a timer for me. My phone's back there. Lisa, you got it?
Yep.
Perfect, 20 minutes. Give me like a 3-minute warning in case I run out. Okay. So it's actually really funny because everything you said is fun because I'm echoing it. And I want to take just a second because when Terrence was making the decision between Blue Current, was it Blue Current?
Blue Current, yeah.
We met twice. And both times it was, do I go full-time? Do I go full-time? Do we figure this out or not? And he's a really good example of somebody that got real and got right and then got into action. So when I heard his story, I was like, ooh, that's fun. This is fun. So we're going out of this book right here, Shift. If you've not read it, it is my favorite of any real estate book that I've read. I like it better than the MREA, the MREI, Hold, Flip, your first home, the one thing. This is the best one. At any point in time, if you're struggling in your business, read this book. It will give you what you need to do, like the actual thing to do. Not the thought, not the theory, the thing to do. And there are 12 tactics. And so today I'm talking about the first one, which is this. And I think there are 11 more after this one. And what's cool about this is normally you will get, when you're teaching one of these, you'll get some sort of curriculum, kind of base it off of. We don't get that. So I get to go through the chapter and I get to pull out the things that I thought were relevant and that I liked personally, and I get to share those things with you. And so over the next 11 weeks, you'll get to hear from ALC members their favorite parts of the book. So we're gonna jump right into it. Has anybody read this book? Well said. Well said. Okay, so my goal here, if you are somebody that has your mindset and your actions in alignment, I want you to keep doing that because you're inspiring people. People are showing up and they're watching you. And it's important that you keep doing that, okay? And if you're one of us that do not have your mindset and actions in complete alignment, my hope is that I can help you get one step closer. If you can take one thing away from this that you can take and then turn around and implement in your business tomorrow or your life, that's like a huge win for me. So get real, get right, let's get your mindset into action. So this is me. I'm the team leader of the Property Gurus. I love the laugh on the photo. I've got a curious question about that later. We've sold about 400 homes in the past 3.5 years. I'm very proud of my team. I'm proud to be their leader. I'm the co-owner of the Property Gurus Property Management. So we manage the assets for our clients because we want everyone to help build wealth. So we're trying to put our actions where our mindset is. I'm the wealth building chair of the ALC. And so to be on the ALC, you need to be in the top 20%, and you have to be willing to give your time, invest your time back into the Market Center. If you're in the top 20%, you've not been a part of the ALC, this is my plea, please do it. It is something that will make everything better. I believe our meeting is Thursday, right? Thursday at 8 a.m. To attend the meeting, you do not have to be a part of the ALC. What's funny though, is the people that show up consistently and listen to the conversations that are had in that room, they tend to be at that table in the next 2 years. So if you're looking to be around people that are talking about high level things and applicable real things that are running into the market currently, please take the time to be there.
Good.
I'm a state director for Missouri Realtors. I've been a state director for 3 years now. I love it. I get to represent Missouri when it comes to national things that are happening. And so getting plugged in, I think is really, really important. I'm a real estate investor. We've got 14 doors. We had 15, we sold Airbnb because it was not our style. It was fun, but we got 14 doors. I'm a dog dad. We have a Rhodesian Ridgeback named Flynn and a Border Collie named Ryder. Bonus points to anybody that knows who Flynn Ryder is. Anybody else? I know Mike knows. But you can't say
It's
it.
from Tangle?
It's from
Yeah.
Tangled, yeah. So my wife tricked me into that. Because there's Flynn, which is fine, and then Ryder. I thought we were naming it after like rye whiskey. And then I said it to somebody and they're like Tangled? And I was like, son of a gun. I've been a husband. We've been married 7 years, been together like 10. It's my favorite thing. It's my favorite job that I have. And then I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm a cigar lover, not an aficionado yet, but I love a good cigar. I'm also an avid gamer, and that part matters because as I was pouring through this book and trying to figure out, I had two options. There's 7 pages of content. This book is dense. It tells you exactly what you need to know and allows you to get right to it. I could read these 7 pages to you guys in 20 minutes, and I thought that would work. And then Sarah, who used to be a teacher, said, maybe we should do PowerPoint, and maybe you shouldn't do that. So last night we figured it out. When it comes to gaming, so Stardew Valley, does anybody play this game before? Anyone? Any gamers in the room at all? Okay, thank you. I was like, I know you do. So play with you. Okay, this probably isn't gonna land with most of you, so I apologize in advance for that. So Stardew Valley is a farm simulator. Okay, it's a super easy game. But so what Sarah and I do is we spend time together separately. Okay? So when we need time, she'll read a book and I'll play a game, but we do it together. We still talk while we're doing it. And so as you know, 7 to 10 years, you gotta spice things up a little bit. And so what she decided was, hey, let's play a video game together. So now here's the thing that you need to know if you're married to a gamer. We actually don't want to do that. Because games are hard. If you've not been playing games for a while, learning how to move 2 sticks at one time is frustrating. Like when people don't know how to play it, they run around and they get really upset. It's like, just hang in there. I've been doing it for like 20 years. You just gotta stick at it. It's gonna be fine. This game, I showed on the pitch, it's easy to learn, it's easy to play. I think this would be a ton of fun. So we got into it. Now, really fast, I want to define success per this book because I believe this is the best definition of success that I found, and it's in this book. Success is achieved when we meet a challenge we set for ourselves. I'm going to say that one more time and emphasize the right part. Success is achieved when we meet a challenge we set for ourselves. Okay, it's something you set for yourself. No challenge means no achievement, which means no success. Okay, so if there's no challenge, you're not going to feel any achievement, and there will be no success that follows it. Okay. What Sarah decided to do in this game was pick up fishing. And fishing, we didn't know this at the time, is one of the hardest mechanics on this game, albeit a fairly easy one still. This is, the fish moves up and down, and you've got to make sure the fish stays in the green line by just tapping square repeatedly. Okay, it is tedious, it is crazy. And I was like, okay, she's gonna do this, she's got this, here we go. So once again, no challenge, no achievement, no success. This was a challenge. Okay. In the real estate business, success is possible for all, but only probable for those who take action. This is a heavy one and I don't like it, but it is true, okay? Just like Terrence said, if there's no action, it's not probable that you'll succeed, okay? So she had to turn around and find the fishing pole and get the bait. We didn't know what we found the bait and the list of fish, and then she went fishing. And when I say fishing, she fished, I don't even know what the hours were. I almost did it before I went to sleep last night, but I was like, maybe that's not something people need to know. What I want you to take away from this slide is that success takes action. Okay, it's required. You can't not have it. So when she got the fishing pole and she got the bait and she got everything else and she showed up and she sat down and she did it continually. All right, I hope she succeeds. Because the only way that she fails is if she stops fishing. Right, so we're playing Stardew Valley, but I'm obviously looking at goals and success because I don't know how to chill. So you gotta decide where your priorities are and how much time you'll spend. If you don't, someone else will. So in Stardew Valley, she had her goal and her priorities. I'm gonna hit level 10 in fishing. 10 was the max. This is what I'm gonna do, and I wanna do it by the time we're done playing. And I was like, okay, go get it, sis. Like, it's great. I'm pulling for you. What that meant for me was the game was a lot less fun because what I had to do was all the mining, all the farming, all the gathering, talking to all the people, and taking care of all the animals. And that's my fault because I did not have my priorities figured out. What I could have done is sat down and said, hey, I'm just gonna farm. That's the only thing that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit level 10 and then I'll move on to the next thing. But I didn't do that. Instead, what I did was all of the things not well. So she hit level 10 and she crushed it. And I'm at like level 5 on everything. Okay? Now, to make this slide heavy, decide what your priorities are and how much time you'll spend. Okay? Figure out how much money you need to make and how much time you need to spend to make that money. Because if you don't, someone else is gonna tell you what your priorities are and how much time you're gonna spend. So this means you might have to go get a jobby job, and that's not fun. And someone else is gonna tell you what to do if you do not take the time to define your priorities and how long it's gonna take you to figure that out. Okay? So what has to happen in a mental shift, there's two parts here. We've got a mental shift and an action shift. Keep in mind, this is all in 7 pages, so please read this book. It's very, very dense. You're either gonna be about your problems or your opportunities. So when Sarah hit level 10 in fishing, I was like, I wonder what's gonna happen. She hit her goal. So when she hit her goal, she can say, well, here's a problem. I don't want to play anymore. Well, I don't want to stop playing because I'm only level 5 on all the things. All the other things, I'm level 0 in fishing because she's doing the fishing. So to survive a shift, you first must make a mental shift to run towards what we most want and avoid the temptation of running away from the things you fear. What was impressive, and I know we're talking about a video game, without skipping a beat, she said, all right, that's the next hardest thing, because once again, no challenge, no achievement, no success. Okay, so she found a challenging thing to do in the video game, and then she ran towards it. Which in this instance, went to get the Galaxy Sword, which is the best sword in the game, and then turning around and going into the mines. And so the mines in this game are 120 levels deep. Okay, so that's 120 levels. If you do not get to the next 5th level, you have to restart the next day. In order to go through this, you have to hit these tiny rocks repeatedly until you find a staircase that takes you down to the next thing. It is tedious, to say the least. And it's the hardest part of the game because you can actually die down there, and then you lose money and you lose your equipment. So for Sarah, it's a lot of risk. That she would put her equipment over here that she didn't want to lose. She would take what she needed, the tools that she needed to go dive deep into the mines, and then she would do so. Remember, success is never about the chosen few. It's about the few who choose. All Sarah did was decide to go do the thing and then get what she needed and go do it. It's not more complicated than that. If you need to make $100,000, you need to go find enough people to pay you $100,000. One thing she learned in the mines is that any of these slimes, those bad guys down in the caves, just like failure, don't hurt you as much as you think it's going to. Her biggest concern was, what happens if I get down there and I lose all my health and we lose all this stuff and we lose all our progress? And I was like, you've got it, you'll figure it out. And she did. Okay. When you're going through challenges, 3 types of people that emerge. And I'm talking about a market shift, but I think these people show up everywhere. And we all know these people, so do not say their names or what they are, especially if they're in the room. You have the unnecessarily pessimistic people. These people are always prepping for the worst. No one wants to work with me. If they do want to work with me, I won't get them under contract. If I do get them under contract, it's not going to close. This is not going to go well. Why are you in real estate? What are we doing? You got the unrealistically positive people, hopefully wish for the best and believe they can't fail. This is the happy-go-lucky, I've been a good guy my entire life, I'm gonna crush it because people like me, and once we go under contract, everything will get accepted. And I'm not worried about any bumps because it's gonna go super well. Ugh. And then we've got my favorite people, which are the resourcefully realistic. We respect the fact that you might fail, right? You put your tools in the tool chest because you might die in the mines. You might have to come back the next day. You actively prepare for the worst. Same thing, because the worst could happen. You don't get to control that. And you strive for the best. Okay? So be certain of these things. These are just some quotes that I really like from the book that I just pulled, okay? You can't control the market, but you can control your outlook and your response to the market, okay? I want you guys to know that you control how you respond to it. It's a choice. Know that while everyone won't succeed in the shift, some will, but anyone can. That's another thing when I read it that really bummed me out, because it means that anyone can, but there's a lot of people that won't, because they won't choose to. I don't like that. Know that there is always enough business for you to survive with a minimum income while striving for your maximum. This is probably my biggest takeaway from this chapter the first time I read it, because we get everything conflated a little bit. Because the money that you need is the maximum goal. That's not true when you actually sit down and look at it. You have X amount of dollars that you need to live, and then you need X amount of dollars to fund the thing that you want to do. You can do both of them simultaneously. What am I doing on time? Over's timer. 6 minutes left?
And we have also Carrie going next,
All
so,
right,
yep.
I'll cruise. So a captain is judged by how well his boat navigates the storm, not during calm seas. If you want to make a name for yourself, go do something hard. Because people are watching when you do something hard, when the seas are rough. You don't get any credit if it's easy. Everyone can win when it's easy. Please judge your success over the length of your career, not the highs and lows of any single year. So do not get high on your own supply, and do not beat yourself up when you're having a low year, okay? Instead, know that growth comes from clarity, priorities, and focused actions, okay? Clarity and priorities are how you think. That's internal. You figure that out. They're yours. Focused action is what you do, okay? That's an external thing that you decide to do. And then once you know, this is one of my favorite quotes, this is the way it's worded. Once you know that it's not about more knowing, it's about doing. So once you know the thing, you know enough, go do. You don't know what to do. The first question you should ask is, what do I do right now? And that seems like a silly question, but when I read the book, I was like, I don't know what the actual next thing that I need to do right now is. I know I need money, and I know I need to find people, but I don't know what to do right now. And lucky for us, the next paragraph says, if you don't know the answer to that question, ask these two questions instead. What must be done right? So what are the things that your business, you can't miss it. If you don't do these things correctly, your business suffers. And what must be done now? What are the things that you have to take care of today? And if you can answer both those questions, you now know what you need to do right now. Efficiency and effectiveness are essential contributors to your bottom line. What I want you to know is both of them are essential to your bottom line. I think everybody starts in one way. You're either going to be really effective or you're going to be really efficient. You've got to learn to be the opposite. Which I think is why opposites attract. I don't really know for sure. Yeah. I want to take just a quick second to define these terms before we walk into the next slide. Effective is doing the right things. Okay? Being efficient is doing things right. Effective is doing the right things. Efficient is doing things right. So if you're on the Titanic and it's sinking and you're rearranging boat, like deck chairs, like you might be crushing it, but the ship's sinking. What are you doing? You're being efficient, but you're not being effective. Make sure that you're effective, and when you are effective, you then get to be efficient. Otherwise, you're just being busy. So there's two critical actions that you have to take personal ownership of. You have to choose to do this. It's lead generation and lead conversion, okay? Lead generation is about being effective. It's about being effective with people. Lead conversion is about being efficient. Thank you. Taking personal ownership of these things will give you two gifts. This is really true. We're going through this right now. Current objections by buyers and sellers that you need to overcome. If you can overcome those things, congratulations, you're an effective agent. It will allow you to be effective. An honest understanding of the conversion rates that are possible. If you used to convert at a 95% rate and now it's 82, but the market is 80, don't beat yourself up. The market changed. Know where you're at, know where you're really at.
It's good.
So top agents, become top agents by mastering the fundamentals. Maybe the reason basics are so often abandoned is the fact that they aren't special, unique, or new. I want to take a brief second to really love on this market center because we have a ton of top agents in it. And please plug in if you're not plugged in, because the people that are performing at a top level are all doing the fundamentals. If you have questions on what to do or how to do it, ask them. They'll take the time and tell you. because they practice it every day. And as somebody like me, I love special, unique, and new. They're very good at like pushing me back. It's fun, but can you get back to the fundamentals? And it's important to have that. The next quote is, the worst quote. And I apologize, when Sarah was helping me with the PowerPoint, she read it and she was like, ugh. I was like, I know, but it's true. It's not necessary to change. Survival is not mandatory.
So good.
And you've got to choose to make the change. Okay, if you don't, that's okay. The market doesn't care. The market doesn't care about your feelings. The market doesn't care if you're in it, doesn't care if you're out of it. It does not care. People are going to buy and sell houses.
Good.
So the thing that I request is that you please change so that you can continue to play the game. Because if you don't change, you don't get to be in real estate. And if you don't get to be in real estate, you don't get to change your life. And you don't get to do the big things that you want to do. So please choose action, get real, get right, and then go do the big things. Thank you.
So like we said, you're gonna get 2 shift tactics each week. Carrie's gonna hit shift number 2 real quick. You gotta get all your stuff. Remargin your business expense management. She's got some handouts for you here real quick too.
Well, good night. I don't know how you follow Terrence's mindset and Blake's mindset with money. I think I got the short straw. At first I thought, oh, this is easy. And then now it's like mindset, money. So wah, except if you don't get your money right, your mindset's not gonna be right. So I would say that those are both so keenly tied together that you don't have success in one without the other. Blake's last quote actually comes off of my section, so I'm gonna need to be paid for you stealing my first page and my first quote. Well, but it's true. If you're not willing to change, you're not willing to survive. If you're not willing to do the work, you're not willing to survive. Success is not easy. Success is a grind. But it doesn't have to be more difficult than what it is. So I'll back up just a little bit. For those who don't know me, I am Carrie Tennis. I too serve on the ALC with Blake. I serve as the commercial chair. I primarily like commercial real estate. Do I like residential? Do I do it sometimes? Sure. But I play in my own little sandbox and I love it there. And I came to KW about 18 months ago after being in just merely a commercial brokerage because I didn't think KW did real estate. But I loved the values of KW. I'd gone to Quantum Leap with Tim McCall. And I was like, I like this company. I actually went to Quantum Leap before or right around the time I first got my real estate license. So I had done real estate for 22 years under my corporate umbrella. Didn't need a license to do that. Played in multiple states at a high level every single day of the week. And when I sold out that company and all of its assets, I said, I had a broker who was in Florida as I was doing his work. And one day I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get my real estate license so I can cut this joker out and I don't have to pay him anymore. Famous last words of a fool. Do not ever do anything out of spite. God has a very good sense of humor. So I said that on a Tuesday. Actually, I said it on a Monday. And on Tuesday, I signed up for an online real estate class. And me, I have a photographic memory, which is a dangerous tool. So I did next, took a test. Next, never watched it, never read it, took a test. Got to the end on Friday and said, all right, signed up for my test on the next Tuesday. That was the first date they would give me, was the following Tuesday. Went in, passed the test, had a license. Problem is I had set a goal. I had a goal that I was gonna sell every commercial property we had in all 5 states in 1 year. The company had retained me on a huge contract for 5 years. They didn't think I could get through all of the assets and all of the properties. They thought it was going to be a 3 to 5 year thing. And they wanted me to stay on as intellectual property until everything was buttoned up. And I didn't want to. So I had set a goal. I'm going to be done with them in 1 year. 1 year. Should have set a big bonus in there for that, but I didn't. Doing things out of spite made me realize that I wasn't going to let my goal down, despite the fact I had this ultimate revenge. I was going to get my license, cut the guy out, blah, blah, blah. I got my license the day after I had all the properties under contract in 9 months.
Wow.
And I never once used that license in those transactions. And I'd gone to Quantum Leap somewhere around that. I loved KW. I loved what it stood for, even though I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know all that was related. And I went into commercial brokerage, spent 2 years there and hated every minute of it. It didn't match my values. It didn't match what I wanted to do. It didn't feed my soul and it didn't bring me joy. And so I go to lunch with a girlfriend and she says, first thing she says to me is, I'm burnout. I don't know what to do. I don't know where I'm going. Why can't you just come and do this with me? And I wasn't going to KW to have, that wasn't the reason for the lunch. And I was like, God, what are you saying? Why are you saying this to me? And I said, Amy, I have my license in my purse. And she goes, why? And I said, well, I'm going to SVN. And she goes, what? I said, yeah. And she's like, no, you're not. You're coming to KW. I literally left the lunch, drove straight here and came to KW because I was like, something's going on here. KW is amazing. It's not Kool-Aid. Mark Stewart's already gone, but he would tell you, guys drink the Kool-Aid here. I didn't drink the Kool-Aid. KW has so many goals and so much mindset and so much love that when you walk these halls, Blake is right. If you have a problem, walk these halls, open a door, somebody will help you with it. If you don't know how to do something, walk these halls, open a door, somebody will help you with it. There is not a single person in this office that is not open door, that you cannot go in, sit down and talk to them. So I'm going to start by asking a very, very intimate question to then follow it up by, you can come look at mine. Who in here has a P&L? That means the rest of you don't have a P&L. You cannot operate and function in this business or any business unless you have not just a P&L, but a P&L that you are intimately attached to. What do I mean by that? You got to love your P&L, which means you also have to understand your P&L, which means you have to understand everything you spend your money on. And that's hard because we don't want to admit everything we spend our money on. Okay? We don't want to admit the 52 Amazon boxes that come every week are going to show up when I look at my P&L. Okay? But they will. If you are running a proper P&L, you cannot hide all of those Amazon boxes. Okay? Gary Keller says that lead generation leads to you having a thriving business, but expense management, that's your P&L, watching what you spend, leads to you surviving. Guys, you can lead generate all day long, but if you're not controlling and monitoring and making your expenses work for you, you are not going to survive. And so I actually did make a bunch of slides, but I didn't know I could use them, so I made them, and then Blake's gonna show me up because you just get this slide. But I do have some of the best quotes. My chapter was 7 pages too. 7 may be a really good lucky number. I gave you guys some handouts. You do not need to complete these, but it's a starter for those who don't have a P&L. Your expense management, your real estate life is supposed to fund your entire life. It's supposed to fund your real estate business and your personal life. So you don't just have a business document in front of you, you have a personal document. If you can't make the money to fund your personal life, you can't make the money to fund your business life. They go hand in hand. So the reason I gave you both was for you to get serious about how much money do you need to not just survive, that's expense management, but to thrive. And if you don't know how much that is, how do you know how to set that goal that Blake was talking about? If you don't know how much your personal life costs you, then it won't matter how much your business life costs you, because you won't have enough for either. So this is deep and heavy. And like I said, I followed 2 really good mindset guys with it. But the number one determinant to thriving is lead gen. The number one determinant for surviving is expense management. So the two documents that you have is for you to do what Gary calls red light, green light. Every expense you have needs to be written down. You need to get real about it, so make sure it's real. So if you go to coffee 3 days a week, and that's $21, you need to write it down. If you get your nails done 2 times a month, you need to write it down. If you pay for an office in this building, you need to write it down. If you print all of your stuff on a printer here, and that costs you X amount of dollars, you need to write it down. It's every single thing that you spend money on needs to be written down. Then you need to decide if it fits in one of 3 categories. Is it, I must have this? Your super box access, your MLS dues, your license, your coaching, your car, your insurance, your house mortgage. Those are what I would say you must have. You agree? Okay. Then that next little column, lots of stuff gets put in that next little column. Betsy, but I really like this stuff. And that might be the office here in the building. It might be your gym membership. I really need it. It keeps me on track. I'd like to have it. It might be, I've got to keep my status, so I need that country club membership, that golf club membership. Then the last column is gonna be, I could give that up today. Maybe that's a subscription. Maybe that's, I eat out 4 days a week. I could pack my lunch. Maybe that's, I gotta get my nails did. Some would argue that's a necessity. But figure out what you're willing to give up. And if you're willing to give it up, it needs to be gone by the end of the week.
Good.
It needs to be gone actually by the end of the day. The thing I've learned with my kids about subscriptions, I don't have any subscriptions. I don't have Netflix. I don't have Disney Plus. I don't have any of that. I don't really watch TV. But my daughter has a whole crap load of them. And while she was on maternity leave, the Bank of Mom took care of her. So I was the state of California and gave my daughter 6 months maternity leave. And in doing that, it came with some strings. I had to have full access to her bank account. So guess who saw all of her subscriptions? And about month 3, this is what Mom said. You can cancel that gym membership because I know you haven't gone there in over 12 months. You've been pregnant, now you've had a baby, you have no time, you don't even sleep. You need to get rid of that by the end of the week, or I'm gonna cut what I fund you by the amount of that gym membership. You have 7 streaming services. How are you watching 7 streaming services? Figure out which one you want to keep and the rest are gone by the end of the week. Or I'm going to reduce how much I'm funding you, which means you're going to overdraw your account by the amount of all 7. I'm going to take them all away. So you pick the one or I take them all away. And in doing that, she's like, I didn't know I was paying for a gym membership, Mom. Huh? Yeah. Well, you're not, I am. I didn't know I had 7 streaming services. What do you mean? Yeah.
Good.
So the
good.
reason you have to get your finances written down, your expenses written down, is because when times are good, we let things bloat. We buy more things, we sign up for more things, we think we need more things. But when the shift happens, like what we're dealing with now, and you're trying to figure out, am I doing enough business to fund my life? Start by saying, am I paying for stuff I don't need?
So good.
Get your money back. Get your profit back. Because we're not in business to be nonprofits, friends. And in the shift book, it has this quote, and I never thought about it this way. And I went, without a profit, you have no competitiveness. Yeah, I read that and I was like, sucker punch. Without a profit margin, you have no competitiveness. If you have no competitiveness, do you have a business? Do you have a business? Because I told Mike a story one day. I said, you know, what I love about KW is that we're all supposed to be competitors, but we're not. We're also cooperators. So it's co-opetition. We are in co-opetition with each other. I am dedicated to your success, and I will give you all of my time and attention that you need. But I'm gonna beat you if we have to negotiate against each other. Just love you, but I love you honestly. So am I willing to help you? Absolutely. You can come to my office any day of the week. You can call me any hour of the day. I am here to help you. But if we negotiate against each other, if we're in listing appointments against each other, I'm gonna beat you. It's just the way it's gonna be, friends. In my top 5 strengths, competitiveness is number 1. That may have changed as I've gotten over, but it was number 1. And I'm gonna beat you. So I am in co-opetition with you. So I'm worried about my profit margin. And if you wanna see my P&L, come. It's laid out to where I know every single thing that's going on in my business. Does anyone wanna guess how often I look at it? Every single day. Every single morning. Actually, I didn't this morning, but I will look at it today. How often are you looking at your P&L? All right, that's good. Who in here is only looking at their P&L quarterly? Be honest, it's okay. We need to talk. I love you, but we need to talk. How many of you are looking at it monthly? Hey, you know what? I'm not mad at you. I'm really not mad at you. But if you want to know how to get ahead, how to keep that money in your pocket, that then you can invest, or then you can determine what you want to do in life, set bigger goals, do bigger things, you need to get real with it. You need to love it up, and you need to love it up as often as it changes. So the reason I say daily to mine, I want to see everything every single day. I'm just disciplined. It's a habit. I look at everything that's coming in and everything that's going out in my P&L on the daily. If you're not moving that often, like if there's not enough moving parts in your business that you can do it weekly or monthly, I'm not mad at you. That's up to you. But if you're not looking at it at all because it doesn't exist, then I am telling you, friend, you're driving the car blind and it's not an auto driving Tesla. You are destined for failure in an accident. So one thing I will commit to, and Adam Grady will commit to, is we want everyone in the market center to have a P&L. And one of the things Adam did on the ALC is he didn't just say you had to have a P&L, he made you bring it every meeting. I had a P&L, but of the top, what do you think? We have the top 10, 12% in the agents. It's not even top 20, it's higher than that. There were some who didn't have a P&L. So don't be ashamed if you don't have one yet. Because our goal is for you to have one. I'm willing to share mine. I'm willing to share my chart of accounts, which actually comes straight out of the MREA. Then I've tweaked it a little bit because I want to drill down a little bit more. I'm willing to share mine with you. The numbers on it won't matter to you, but the way that it's set up will. So anytime that you're struggling to get right and to understand your finances or understand what you should be paying and what you shouldn't be paying for and understand those percentages, while we're looking at the shift today, the MREA has standards for how much you should be spending on your business. And if you stay within those percentages, you have a pretty good chance of being pretty successful. If you're out of whack though, you have a pretty good chance of not being successful. And I want you all to succeed. This leadership team wants you all to succeed. As I've gone in my 18 months to several KW large events, I have learned that all market centers are not equal. I've sat beside people who they were the only one from their market center. I've sat beside people who were ready to leave KW because they didn't have a good market center. We're so incredibly blessed. We have an amazing market center with amazing leadership. We are killing it, not just in our market, but if you look at us across the nation, this little bitty town of Springfield is pretty stinking powerful. And it's a good to be in this team. So when I say there's not anyone here that wouldn't help you, I mean that. I mean it with my whole heart. And, you know, ultimately, we want to see you win. We want to see you thrive. We want to be in co-opetition with you, but ultimately, we want to be in business with you first, which means we want you to have a good thriving business. So, any questions I can answer? Yeah.
How are you, yeah, let's apply. How are you managing your P and L on the daily with input and data? Are you just doing like a direct feed into a QuickBooks or something?
Yeah, so I have QuickBooks and everything from our bank account dumps right into it. So we don't do credit cards. So we probably could, we just don't. It's too easy to run away with expenses when you don't have to see real money every single day.
The Carrie's P&L is the cleanest one of all that ALC I look at. I mean, it just
Aw,
makes
thank
sense.
you.
It's categorized by number, so you can see everything. But yeah, if you use QuickBooks, there is a monthly fee to it. But everything you do goes straight in, and the next day you say you categorize it. Meals, whatever, Amazon.
You set up rules and it categorizes itself. The nice thing is you can either pay a bookkeeper or you can leverage, and so we have QuickBooks. We still pay a bookkeeper for some things, but ultimately what I'm spending on managing my business and being able to see it every single day is pennies.
If you carry around applause.
Thank you, guys. You don't have Ignite down on your schedule today. I'm gonna teach Ignite today, and we're gonna learn some cool stuff today. And I'm gonna teach it different than the way I went to it. So I'd already been an agent or been in real estate 22 years. When I came to KW, I took Ignite. Why did I take Ignite if I already knew everything about real estate?
You never know everything about real estate.
Never know everything about real estate. And I wanted to learn how KW did real estate. So come to Ignite. If you've not been, come.
So next week, we have shift 3 and shift 4. Shift 3 is do more with less with Dan Holt, and shift 4 is find the motivated lead generation with Paulina Miller.
It's easier, it rolls up.
She changed her name now.
So Paulina just got married this last week. So if you see her, tell her congratulations and come listen to these two next week. Thank you all. Have a great week. We will see you soon.
All right, thank you.
Need help getting